Hi, this is Silvia of Colorful Foresight. So today I'm going to be talking about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, who was a guy about good and humanity. What's going on in the world, having good faith, good of humanity. So this is a perfect current event topic. What card would represent him? And it was the star card, good of humanity. And that's something we all want. So here's the star card. The star is like all is well, the good of humanity. What other cards could represent good of humanity? So the other card that we would never thought could represent good of humanity, because we would think the star, yeah, of course, good of humanity, right? That type of thing. So let's shuffle and think what another card that could represent good for humanity. And what I pulled out is instantly 9 of Swords, which you would think, how is that good of humanity? The person is worrying, so I get to have compassion. But there are people who have no compassion that could worry. They could worry about themselves. We're going to use good of humanity. They're concerned about others. Others that's suffering. They don't want that, right? No suffering. So good of humanity and no suffering. So let's choose what another card that could represent good of humanity. So if you're in here, just know on Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern, and that's like 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, bring your tarot and let's learn what cards are not obvious that could represent. So another card that popped up that I would never thought good of humanity. Okay, this makes sense. The star, which is the brightness of what you want in the world. This makes sense in the context of 9 of Swords. Worried, you worry about others. You have compassion. And the 2 of Swords is making decisions they're not able to see. So sometimes people will have truth. The 2 of Swords is also a truth card. It can have many meanings, but what comes to me is truth. Anything that comes to you. So good, how does it apply to context of good and humanity? Truth. Sometimes you have, like, for example, we have 2 political parties. We got to work in the middle. Otherwise, you can't have 2 groups blindfold. You're not going to get anywhere. So somewhere you have to create truth. What comes to my mind is like the white flag. How is that good of humanity? Sometimes you just got to let it go. Okay, so that's what came to me. Another card. What would be another card of good and humanity that we would never thought of? Not so obvious like the star card. Wow. The 9 of Wands. Well, how could that be good of humanity? These are protectors. I think of alliances, the word alliance. I think of like NATO, where you have a bunch of countries that we have to check and balance each other. So if we have any rogue country or country that just attacking anybody. So that's another way of thinking that apply to good of humanity. Not so obvious. I would never thought of this card for good of humanity, but it is. It could be part of that because it's a protector, a defender. What else popped up? This other card came up. The Hierophant. So the Hierophant is sometime like structure, tradition, following the rules. Okay, good of humanity. Sometimes you don't even have to be a great person per se. The Constitution comes to mind. Tradition, right? The Constitution. It kind of helps to check and balance each other, right? That's what came to me. I would never thought of it, the Hierophant. Tradition is not always what we think tradition is, like It really good of humanity. Sometimes you don't even have to be a good person, but you just do the right thing. Because it just keep the balance of things. You want to have a good life, you do the right thing. So that's what came to me, good of balance. Like, for example, when there's major weather condition happen, or like 9/11 that come to mind, or even when Martin Luther, you do the right thing. Even if you bias, do you want to make life easy? 9/11, there's people who maybe the day before 9/11 wouldn't even talk to each other. They're too busy. But when push comes to shove, you do the right thing. You get together and you try to help others. Never thought of that, right? That's pretty cool. So we have to bring that vibe together, back together. This idea that humanity always been like kind of crazy since day one. So it's nothing new. We have to have more good than otherwise, have more good faith than bad faith. That's what it comes down to. The division bring too much of bad faith in us. It's not where good people or bad people, because we have good and bad in us, right? So, this card popped up. Let's see what it is. Knight of Pentacles. So how could that apply to something like good of humanity, Knight of Pentacles? Well, in context of like Martin Luther King, it seemed like progress is slow, like Knight of Pentacles, like slow in action, movement and slow. Good in humanity sometimes the slow progress, especially certain topics. But the truth is, there's been a lot of progress, even though seems like things are going backward, especially when it comes to the ism group, like for women, like Roe versus Wade, or and yada yada yada. I was watching my nephew. He graduated from college, so nowadays, if you can't be in the audience live when they graduate, you can watch them online. And in this college, it's so diverse. You have people from all over the countries. You have people from all walk of life, all skin, race, da 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 da. That's progress. So a lot what had been done before between, women's right, civil right, it had done a lot. Especially for younger generations, they don't even know what it was like before. They would be surprised how much had changed. So that's what good of humanity. We have to have faith in that. Okay, so what else could we add? I'm going to add like 3 more cards, unless somebody comes in and helps and pick a card. And also, while you're watching this, what came to your mind? And comment and let me know what card you picked that could relate to good of humanity that you never thought of. So 3 more. Let's see, pop. Another card that could represent good of humanity. Hello, 2 of Cups. Totally. Right? Like togetherness. You see that? Especially on contact of Martin Luther King. You got like a white hand and a black hand. But even if it wasn't like 2 different colors, but perfect deck to pick in regard to topic. I didn't choose that. It just happened. But it's 2 Cups is like bringing 2 things together. Reconciliate. I can't even say it. But like connection, getting along. So 2 of Cups for sure. Another card that came was the Ace of Coin. Yes, that's like an offering. Could be like even a peace offering. Doesn't always have to, but in contact of good humanity, it's like bringing peace. Or offering when they're challenging stuff that's happening, you help out. Maybe, like I said earlier, the day before you weren't looking out for your neighbors. You're too busy in your own life. But when push comes to shove, we offer. So that's the good of humanity. Love it. And one last card. Random. the moon. It was upside down. Should I read it upside down, like in reverse? I'm asking my spirit. Well, I'm only reading upright, so we'll go with upright. The moon. The moon had many meanings. So how could it, how could it apply to good of humanity? Answer in the comment below. What comes to me is, okay, the moon means like craziness, secret, things are being hidden in the unknown. See the water. You got shadows, you got the light and the dark. It could also be a creativity card, dreams. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. Hello. But in context of good in humanity, I'm going to ask for clarification. How about that? The death card, rebirth, good of humanity, another clarity. 3 of Wands. So this is about the many ways that we may not realize that is good of humanity. The unknown, things that we're not seeing, rebirth. There are going to be new things that shows what good in humanity, the things in place. Sometime, okay, what came to me, especially in context of current event, like what had been happening the past few years, especially in divisiveness nature, not just the USA, but all over. If it wasn't between two political parties or Islam group or blah, 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 for some reason I keep hearing the word loophole. So it was kind of like, yeah, there's so much progress going along, but it's like all this stuff came up to kind of like close all the gap and loophole, whether with the unconscious healing or there was stuff in the Constitution, for example, that needed to improve. So a lot of loopholes. Like, for example, what comes to my mind is all the China that's are uprising against the leader. The Middle East, when the woman got killed because she didn't wear the thing on her head. Republicans, even though they're not for the Democrat, they were pissed off about Roe versus Wade being removed. Honestly, I don't think people love abortion, but it's the idea of removing right to privacy. And that's what it is. We still got to figure out ways to things that are touchy subject and how to work with it, but good for humanity. I would like if you could comment below and tell me, whether you're a beginner or not, how this could apply to good of humanity. Besides what I mentioned, I need clarity. That's why I need other people. So we have the moon, the death card, and the 3 of Wands. So let me know how that goes. Like, let me know how we could wrap that up. Good for humanity. So in all, the beautiful card for good for humanity came in many different ways, but particularly the star card. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you for listening in. Please come back next week. Please subscribe and take care.